this book was all about money. And I was like, there wasn't anything else that we could talk about or learn about with Rebecca, the Jewish American immigrant.
Well, we talked about candles.
Yeah, how much she wanted to buy candles and how desperately she coveted them.
Mm-hmm.
Hey everybody, it's me, Yeti.
I don't think that's what he sounds like.
Okay, well, you made up an insane voice for my cat, so I can make up a...
But you also like that voice.
I think the Yeti kind of sounds like Charlie from It's Always Sunny, which I know is not exactly what I just did, but it's just like,
Hey guys, it's me, Yeti, and I'm gonna cause a scheme.
Well, my brother the other day said that Yeti looks like the dog in It's Always Sunny that never dies, Poppins.
Oh, Poppins. You know, I used to work for this family, and they were big. They are / they're not dead. They were big It's Always Sunny fans, and they bought a dog from the pound on a whim because they thought it looked like Poppins, and they named it Poppins.
That's good.
Yeah,
Poppins is good.
Poppins was
oh my goodness, you look like a model. Poppins was good. Look at him. He's
I
like,
know. He's cute.
anyway, I'm
He's
sorry.
being real cute.
I'm so sorry.
Guys, welcome back to American Girl Talk, and welcome to Rebecca.
Welcome to Rebecca.
Welcome to Rebecca. Welcome back, Chelsea.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. And there is an important piece of news we have to get to beforehand, which is your opinions on the Molly movie.
Okay, you really scared me. I didn't know what was like. I was like, is this about to become like a confrontation podcast?
Everybody come on in.
Yeah. Guys, this is an intervention. The Molly movie was tough. You did come over to my house. You showed the Molly movie to me and my husband.
Yes.
My husband was shaken by the fact that we would think that that little child was ugly. But what I told him was that she's probably a perfectly normal child.
That they uglified.
That they uglified because that's canon for Molly.
Yeah.
I also, and you know, this might be a controversial statement, especially maybe with like the elder community, which I know is a large demographic for you. Huge. I sometimes feel like war at home stories about World War II that take place in the United States are kind of stolen valor.
That's like, Celia and I talked about that.
Like, what did we really, like, come on. Like, I watched Atonement.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert for Atonement. Spoiler. Keira Knightley died in a fucking subway that filled with water. Like, while she was, like,
I forgot
in the war at home. You know, like, when I studied abroad in Paris, I would walk, like, in the 2010s, right? Like, I would walk by, sidewalks that were like still blown apart, that they were like, we've just decided to keep this blown apart so we can always remember what the war was like. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know that we need to be sitting here being like, and it was really hard. Sometimes we had butter, but sometimes we did not have butter.
That's we like, talked about
we didn't have baseball. We'd have girl baseball.
Well, we always talk about how that's kind of why Molly's story kind of falls flat among the American girls, besides the fact that she's insufferable, is like, because everyone else is in like a period of history where there are at least stakes involved, like with the exception of Julie, I guess. But
I was gonna say, I feel like that better lesser. Like if we talk about the core girls, right? Like, I think it became less as they went on when they started adding these like other girls. Yeah. Sorry, but like for the core, what 5?
Yeah, I think there's a core 7 and there's a core 5. There's a core 6, and then Kit, if you don't count Kit and Kaya. There's like 6 to 8, basically.
Yeah.
He's fine. Just
okay. I know. I didn't know if he was going to touch the...
No, he's our sound guy.
I see. Okay, yeah. Great. But yeah, no, that's what... So like it kind of fell flat a little bit that way. I mean, it was very sad. They got the thing that gets me from A League of Their Own, which I also was referencing. Yeah. Which is like the idea that like, I guess like as a young woman, they could just like take your husband from you and make him go to war. Yeah. And I'm like, ooh... No, see, like, that's when, like, all of my patriotism, which I'm famous for, would, like, flow out of my body immediately. If, like, somebody was like, hey, Connor needs to go to war, I'd be like, no, the fuck he does not.
He's got shin splints.
Even if it was a righteous war, you have me now on the record saying, I would put that man in an underground bunker. You'd never find him. Yeah. You're not going to serve me a telegram in the middle of my, you know, like, tea with friends or whatever. About old corn dog.
Or in the middle of a spelling bee in front of an auditorium of children.
That was crazy. That felt like the filmmakers... Are we good? Yeah. That felt like the filmmakers watched that sequence from A League of Their Own when Tom Hanks is like, "We're in a ball game. Get out of here!" And then he reads the telegram, and then he sort of America's Next Top Model goes through all of
Emotions.
the female players. Do you
Oh
remember?
yeah. Oh
It's like
yeah.
he's walking past all of them because he's like, I see like two beautiful girls in front of me, but I only have one telegram about a dead husband in my hand. And then he hands it to the girl that's not Gina Davis, who's not the star of the movie, and it was really sad.
Yeah. So Molly movie, meh.
So Molly movie, yeah, I don't know. Do we need Molly? I know that you need content, but do we need her?
No, we do because she's fun. It's fun when you
That's
don't
true.
like something. Sometimes it's
Yeah.
more fun than when you do like something.
I'm a hater for real. I do love her. What is it, Lady Victory outfit?
Yeah,
That was
it's
just
fun.
I think I should get to be Lady Victory, and I think
Well, if you can tap dance better than the rest of us,
you know that I can tap dance.
I know.
You know that I can
You
do
can
a
do it.
Broadway. You know I can do a kickball change.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know the difference between a step and a stomp. Do you?
Yes.
What is it? Tell me immediately.
One is with the heel and one is with the toe.
No, you fool. It's which one of them is when you change your weight, and the other one you don't change weight.
Well, that's what I meant in a different way. So, guys, welcome to the podcast, Rebecca. She is the daughter of Russian Jewish immigrants, 1914 USA, and guess what? End of Edwardian era, beginning of, some would say, the modern era, because World War I, the Great War, is happening in Europe, not in the U.S. yet. We're not involved yet.
But it's they're referencing it.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert for later in the book.
It's alluded to, and I said I like this because she lives in the neighborhood I lived in Manhattan, and so I knew all the streets, and I'm going to be really annoying about it, I'm sure, throughout the rest of these books.
Yeah, she's like an LES girl, right?
Yeah. It's there's actually, have you been to the Tenement Museum in New York yet?
Mm-mm.
I recommend anyone, if you're in Manhattan and you're done it before and you're looking for something new, to go to the Lower East Side Tenement Museum, because it's one of the, I think it's on Orchard Street, and it is a old tenement building that they have turned each floor into like a representation of a different era of immigration. So the bottom floor is like a German beer hall that would have been like on the site, that was on the site at the time, and then the middle floor is like Jewish immigrants, and then the top floor is like Chinese immigrants, and they kind of show what the houses would have looked like, and they have the history of the people, and they like give you a little bit of like a lesson of who used to live there.
Aww.
And it's like it's a museum that you can't just like, it's a tour based museum, so you can't just like walk, but it is one of my favorite museums in New York.
That's very
And it's
cool.
really well done, and like the building's very well preserved, and it's very interesting to see like these like kind of, yeah, these tenement buildings that people used to live in, and like how small they were for giant families, but how large they are in terms of Manhattan real estate today.
Oh yeah, and that's how they're used now, right? So
Yeah, I think I
Yeah.
lived in a tenement buildings.
oh no, that's
Aw.
awesome.
But I said that I had no expectations of Rebecca, and so far I like her.
Yeah, like I said, I find her to be very relatable. I also wanted to be in the pictures.
Yeah.
And also my family they were, I think, more supportive than Rebecca's family, who was deeply unsupportive and
Yeah.
borderline abusive about it, but we'll get there. But like, it was as in, like, they would let me do little shows, like, around the house. But if I ever said, like, yeah, and then when I graduate from high school, I'm going to go to Hollywood, they're like, no, you're going to be a marine biologist. Because for some reason, that was what all little girls were told
Yeah,
they had
every
to
little
be.
girl wants to be a marine biologist.
I mean, I liked the idea, and I like the idea even more now as an adult, frankly. But, like, it was not my idea. I remember very specifically that, like, I don't know if this is like lore that you haven't shared on the podcast, but the same way that your mom really wants you to be an occupational
A
therapist,
speech pathologist.
a speech pathologist, where it's just something she has glommed onto. It was like something that my Mimi was just like, well, Chelsea, you love to swim. You're gonna be a marine biologist, and I was like, no, I'm gonna go to the pictures.
I'm gonna be in the movies.
I'm gonna be in the movies.
I'm gonna be a star.
I'm gonna be in the talkies.
Yeah, I think it's a interesting look at like just the immigrant family, I think, which is I kind of like, because the other immigrant family that we have in the books is the Larsons, like Kirsten's family, and that's like 1850s immigrants. So
It's a little different.
It's a different tone, but and it's Swedish immigrants to Minnesota versus Russian Jewish immigrants
To New York.
to New York City.
Well, and yeah, that's interesting too, because like, I think one of the other fun things about this book is, I mean, it's obviously very sort of toned down.
Yeah.
But they are talking about interacting with other communities, which is a
Yes.
big. my understanding from speaking to you and from living life and being an adult is that it's a very big part of living in New York City.
Yeah. And no, I mean, like I said, I thought this was cool. Like, it is kind of the neighbor in the area that I lived in. And one thing I liked about that neighborhood, even in the modern day when I lived there, was kind of the area of Lower East Side that I lived in was kind of like the diagonal corner between, or like the 90-degree angle between like a very like Puerto Rican neighborhood and Chinatown. And so it was like interesting. Like, if you went like one direction, everything was like in Spanish, and you went the other direction, everything was in like Chinese. And it was just, it was like cool to see those cultures like mixed. And so I do like this. I do like immigrant stories about like New York City, especially at this turn. That was one of my hyperfixations as a child, was like Ellis Island immigration.
Yeah.
I thought that was like,
I think I've told you, my family came through Ellis Island in the 30s.
that's cool.
Yeah. So we went, I think I was talking about this with a friend recently. Some friends are thinking about moving to Mexico, and the wife, I think maybe grandparents were born in Mexico, and Mexico, I'm going to get so much of this wrong, so please feel free to fact check us. Drop a comment. Tell me what I'm wrong about. I would love to use this for engagement. But
Great fate.
I believe that Mexico is either already has or is implementing a scheme similar to Ireland, where if you have a family member within a certain level of removed who was a Mexican
National.
citizen,
Yeah.
then you can apply for citizenship to
That makes
Mexico,
sense. Yeah.
which is great. And so they were thinking about doing that. And I was like, I just barely missed that, because when my family left Lebanon, it was in the 30s, and and they split, and half the family went to New York and via Ellis Island, and then they went from Brooklyn to Texas. Don't ask me why. And then the other half went to Mexico City. And there's like a huge Lebanese population in Mexico City. And I was like, if my Jadot had just been on the other side of that coin flip, then I could get Mexican citizenship as well. But alas,
Tough flip of the coin.
Ellis
I-
Island, baby.
I'm one generation away from getting Polish citizenship for similar reasons.
So
And they
annoying.
went to Canada first, so that's unfortunate.
That's a big bummer.
So that's tough. But should we get into it?
Oh my gosh, please.
All right, guys. Chapter 1, a Sabbath surprise.
Learned a lot about Sabbath. Actually, I already knew some of this because, fun fact, I had good friends in high school who were, I think it's called conservative Jewish, not conservative the way that we think of like American politics, but it's a subset of Judaism, or like I don't know if they use the word denomination, but like where they do practice the actual Sabbath. It's like the Sabbath, the way that it's referenced for the
It's not like
grandparents.
Hasidic, is it?
No, because what I'm
Okay.
saying is like there are Hasidic Jews, and like there's one level above conservative too, where it's like much more serious. But they were sort of in the middle, where like we could not hang out on Saturdays.
Yeah.
They couldn't use the phone. They had like they had the two like stoves in the kitchen because they kept kosher. So it was interesting to learn about, and it was fun to hear from this perspective. Like you're saying, like it's sort of like immigrant stories where it's like the grandparents are like, "Ah, I'm so ashamed. I'm so disappointed that you guys aren't keeping the Sabbath." And they're like, well, we're still having like the dinner, like the traditional dinner, but then dad's going to go to work on Saturday.
It's like, because we have a shoe shop.
People need shoes.
We got shoes to sell.
I got shoes to sell. I
gonna be
got
a
shoes
tongue
to
twister.
move. Yeah.
But so we meet Rebecca.
Mhm.
We meet Rebecca.
Yeah.
And she is playing with the Marikusha dolls.
That was cute.
And so it's her mom's dolls from Russia. And I think I slightly mispronounced it. So again, guys, leave a comment of what the right word is. But she's playing with all the different sized dolls, and she's named one of them Beckie, if you can guess why. And Beckie
It
has
took me longer than it should have, actually, to figure that one out. But go on.
But Beckie is in her little play on play is going to show everyone that she is lighting the candles for the Sabbath. And Rebecca is like, everyone pay attention, Beckie's doing it, yay! And then mom comes in and says, you're not doing that, actually. Like, go set the table for Sabbath.
We hate you.
We don't no one
Oh.
likes Beckie.
It's tough. Again, this was the start of me finding Rebecca very relatable, because I don't know about you, but I love to both pre and post game any arguments I think I'm gonna have.
Yeah.
So it's like, sitting and talking to myself and being like, yeah, like, well, they're gonna say this, and I'm gonna say, well, actually, I know the entire prayer by heart, and I can do it, and I could light the candles. Which is what she was doing. And I was like, that's right, Rebecca. Just game it out. And then her mom was like, are you one of our perfect sons or our creepy little twins? No? Then get in the other
The
room.
twins are tough.
The twins suck. I think like again, I believe you about, there just being like a larger context of these books being about making money as a child. I also feel like from what I remember from my childhood and from now the 2 books of these that I've read for this podcast, I feel like there's also a theme of like, well, man, siblings sure suck, huh?
Yeah,
And I mean, I guess I'm an only child, so you have to weigh in on this one.
I will, and it's like I think it also is just the trope of any children's thing. Like, I mean, I think Celia and I talked about it once, about like almost like the Disney Channel trope of like the rascally younger sibling. Like everyone has a sibling who's either like too cool for you or like a rascal.
Oh, I see. So it's like if they have an older sibling, then the older siblings like get lost, scram, I'm too cool. And if they have a younger sibling, their younger sibling is like, what's his name? Benny.
Benny,
Yeah. Benny was also a lot, but I mean, I don't have any problems with him.
The only person who didn't have siblings like that, or so Kit's older brother is like really chill, but he's also like 16, so he's like beyond. And then Kirsten's brothers have too much going on with chores to like care about Kirsten. So
Poor Kirsten.
yeah, it's tough. But so she goes to set the table, and Bubby is helping Mom make the challah bread.
Yeah.
And they're all like, this is where we find out the weird dynamic between the twins, where Sophie is like very outgoing and Sadie is very quiet, or vice versa.
I didn't love that.
Yeah, there's a weird undertone every time they brought it up in this book, that it's like Sophie didn't speak because Sadie did, or whichever one of them is that.
Do you know how I imagined the twins in my head as I was reading?
Like what?
Do you remember the twins from The Shining?
That's what you pictured?
Yeah, like, or just like sort of creepy where it's like wherever they are in the story, it's like they are holding hands in my mind always. Yeah. And their eyes are always really big. Like they're like, yes, Rebecca, you will not do the prayer.
Well, it is creepy that they are 14, they still dress alike. What do you think is the statute of limitations for dressing twins identical?
Well, as you know, I used to be a nanny to twins.
Yes.
And I can tell you that they stopped enjoying wearing the same clothes when they became sentient enough to know they were wearing clothes.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I really cannot imagine them getting all the way to 14 and still wearing the same clothes.
What do you think about wearing the same outfit but in different colors?
Now, see, I would fuck with that heavy. I would do that with you today.
Yeah.
Even though we couldn't look less like twins, I think, on almost every single level.
Yeah.
But, like, I think it'd be really cute if we had matching dresses, but they were in different colors.
We can do that.
Oh my God. You guys heard it here first.
We're gonna
hold her to it. Keep her accountable, please.
For the next girls, we'll wear matching dresses. Yeah.
Who's gonna be? Do you know?
It's you're gonna love it actually. It's I'm gonna mispronounce the name. It's a weird one. It's Cecile and Mary Ellen. It's like two. It's a twofer.
Gosh, a gruesome twosome.
But they're New Orleans.
Fuck. Okay. So oh my God. So first of all, it's a gruesome twosome, so it's perfect. And we'll wear matching outfits in different colors.
Yeah, it'll be perfect. It's gonna work. It's
even
even more on theme than I meant.
I've never been so excited to read American Girl doll. I think
and that's the point of the podcast.
Including when I was a child. Including when I was the target audience.
And so that's the point of the podcast.
Yeah.
So they eat Sabbath with Grandpa and Bubby. I did wonder why we have Bubby as the name and then Grandpa. But
I don't know. I know that, again, a lot of this is going to be me referencing Jewish characters from media. Because I already mentioned that, like, while I'd never lived on the Lower East Side or in New York at all, this book did make me think a lot of, like, Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. Because, like, they had apartments in the same building, just like the grandparents there. Yeah, but also similarly, Annie in Community, who was famously canonically Jewish, talks about her booby. Yeah. Because it's a joke where then Donald Glover thinks
bubby died
talking about her boobs. So maybe there's not I don't know. Hey, if you are a Jewish person and you're listening, sound off in the comments what you call your grandpa.
Yeah, tell us.
And do you see all the engagement I'm farming for you?
I know, I'm enjoying it. Thank you.
You love it? Hey, if you love me asking you questions, sound off in the comments. Let us know about it. Sorry,
well, this is the point of the book where I was like, I think Chelsea's really gonna eat this book up because our cousin, we find out that it's a very special Sabbath because cousin Moishe Shesherensky is coming to town, and he works in New York City, like they live in, as a vaudeville actor.
Yeah,
and I was like, a woman's gonna love having
you know how
an
important
vaudevillian actor.
You know how important vaudeville is to me. Ever since I was little and I saw Gypsy, and then I had to go through the painful, and I imagine universal to all children,
of course,
experience of learning that the Orpheum Circuit no longer exists and you cannot go on there and sing your special song about being. Can you imagine being these like dainty baby Chelsea and the Tory Adorables and singing my song that's like, oh, 'cause it's like, "I have a new cow, a true cow, a moo cow named Caroline, moo, moo, moo. She's an extra special friend of mine, moo, 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 moo.
Moo.
I like everything about her fine." You don't have you seen Gypsy?
No.
Ugh, you're such a fake musical theater fan. So she has a moo cow, a true cow, and new cow named Caroline.
Yeah.
Your name is Caroline. Anyway, vaudeville. I was so excited to find out that Moisha, aka Max, you'll find out about it. Vaudeville legend, and well, you're gonna get into it, but I just want to say, controversial opinion. I liked his jokes. I liked the lion bit. Do you want to explain the lion bit that you apparently hated?
He's coming in now. So Rebecca's really excited because like cousin Moisha is like legendary and she's like, "Oh, it's so cool. I love acting. Like I got to see this guy. What's going on?" He comes in. She sets the table extra perfect. She's like, "Well, if an actor's coming to dinner, then we must have the table set perfectly."
It did seem like she was kind of into cousin Moisha, but
This is what I said. This is when
Yeah.
when I dropped your bag off and you said, "Is there a creepy man that's lingering too long?" That's why I said
we
maybe.
were talking about. Oh, anyway, keep going.
So Moisha comes in and he stands in the doorway. He doesn't come in and he goes, "Oh," and they're like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "Putting out the lion powder." And they're like, "What do you mean the lion powder?" And he's like, "The powder to prevent lions from coming in."
That's good.
And they're
That
like,
would
"What
do
lions?" He goes, "Well, it must be working."
If my husband had even a half a shot of tequila in his body, that would do so much
I know,
numbers.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that would take him to
Should
the
I
ground.
try it on him?
Yes.
Okay.
Next time you come over to our house, you
Yeah.
should do that, and he
Okay.
would like lose his mind.
All right, I'll try it. I'll see if
Okay.
it
Cool.
works.
Cool. Cool.
But Rebecca's the only one who laughed at this joke, much like corn dog.
Yeah. The rest of the family hates it.
Except Benny is scared of the lions.
Well, yeah. That's why he was doing it for a child.
Yeah, I know, but
He's a vaudeville legend.
yeah, he's not a vaudeville legend. He's out of work vaudeville.
Well, I think part of doing the Orpheum circuit, again, if I understand it from Gypsy, is that you are always
Out of work.
perpetually on like the edge of
Poverty.
of like complete desolation. Like they were like, you'd love it. There were like 18 teens living in an apartment with like a sheep in that musical.
But it was the American way, you know. It was
yeah,
all
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
And he announces that Moisha is no longer Moisha Shesherensky. No
Uh-huh.
longer. We're
Uh-huh.
gonna call him Max Shepard.
Max Shepard
A good American name for a good American actor.
and Bubby
But like,
not on
ugh,
board.
Doesn't like
Not
it.
on board.
What's wrong with the name Moisha? You know.
Yeah. I know it's the name of the father-in-law in Marvelous Mrs. Maisel.
I do think it's a fun name.
I like it. It's fun to say. Moisha.
It's a good name for a cat.
Oh my god! Like if you got a Russian blue.
Yeah. For fourth cat.
Guys, sign up in the comment. No, I'm just kidding.
What do you guys think?
Sorry, keep going.
But so yeah, so he's Max Shepard now. And so then we let's see, so Papa and Grandpa come home and then Bubby rats him out and says Moisha's changed his name. And then he makes another joke where he goes, "Change my name? Like you can call me anything you want except for late for dinner."
Yeah, he probably invented that joke. It was 1914. Like that's probably where it comes from.
He's
It's
just
from
kinda a
Max.
ham.
No, I know. I will say I did really appreciate Rebecca, like since we're, kind of in her thoughts, appreciated like her like commitment to like never dead naming him. Once he says his name is Max, in the text, it's always Max. Always. And I thought that was really progressive for a book that I assume was written in like 1915.
Yeah. No, she I think the nice thing too is we are seeing Moisha through Max through Rebecca's through Rebecca's eyes. And I'm like, this is exactly the type of adult that a kid eats up.
Oh yeah, I would have lost my mind.
And
And she talks a lot about his dark eyes. This is what I mean about it feeling a little like,
it is a little weird.
hey, Rebecca, I get that it's 1915, but that's your cousin.
I think it's one of those, like, we talked about this a little bit, Celia and I did with Molly and the teacher a little bit, where it is like, I think little kids just develop fixations that are near crush-like on people sometimes when you're like, this is the coolest person I've ever met. Wow, everything they do is like the bee's knees. Everything they do is smooth, as we learn.
Ugh, smooth. We'll
Yeah.
get there.
So Max is there to mooch off dinner, basically, because he has
Well, he's family. Like, do you think that every time you attend a family dinner, you are mooching off dinner?
look, we have different
Oh,
opinions
no.
on Max. I'm starting to feel.
I know. Well, I just mean like, look, there are things like, are his jokes corny? Yes. Is he broke? Yes. I don't think it's mooching off dinner to go to family dinner.
Okay, but I think my thing, the reason I get mad is in a little bit.
We'll
This is
get
where
there.
I'm
We'll
like,
get there.
I'm like the
Guys,
audacity.
big foreshadowing.
We're gonna get there.
Yeah.
And so now is time. Everyone's home, so now we're going to do the like ceremony for the Sabbath. And so the twins are reciting the prayer and lighting the candles in what I imagine is scary, scary harmony.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Like their voices are going in and out like of
Mhm.
discord like
Yeah.
perfectly.
the like 2 candles at the same exact time. And then her older brother Victor blesses the wine, but his Hebrew is bad.
Yeah.
And Grandpa says bar mitzvah's coming up. Like your Hebrew can't be that bad.
I do know you have to read like a big long prayer at
Yeah.
your bar or bat mitzvah.
Yes, you do. And
Oof.
he is not ready yet.
And he's not ready.
But
He's not doing
but
it.
you know who is ready? Rebecca, who's like, I am reciting the prayer more perfectly than all of my siblings. And if I say it loud enough, everyone will notice that I'm the best at praying.
Which again would be a very like young Chelsea thing.
That's where I got really endeared to her because I was like,
Oh,
this
yeah.
is so Caroline shade. Like, I think it's the thoughts of a child desperate for attention.
Well, we have bonded over certain like aspects of Catholicism in the past.
Yeah.
Did you do like nightly prayers?
No.
Because we did Our Father,
Mhm.
Hail Mary, and Glory Be, which is like a very short poem. Like
Oh, we did
prayer
our
for
Father and Hail
children.
Mary, yeah.
Yeah, we would do them every night before bed. And I would do Glory Be because I was the youngest. Because this is when I had step siblings. So they would always give me Glory Be, and I would get like Rebecca, very sort of like I'd get my back up because I'm like I can do Our Father or Hail Mary, and they're like no, like Chris does Our Father,
Yeah.
Katie does Hail Mary, you do Glory Be. And then every time that they would do their prayer, I would sit there and mouth the entire thing just so that in case anybody looked over at me during prayers
Yeah.
instead of like, I don't know, praying, they would see, wow, Chelsea knows the entire thing.
Do you want to hear my unhinged story of that? It
Yes.
wasn't about prayers, but
Uh-oh.
so when I was in 3rd grade at a Montessori school, we did we were doing these plays. We did a play called The Stolen Prince and the Lost Princess.
Amazing.
And I so desperately wanted to be the Lost Princess, and I didn't get it. But I memorized all the lines anyway. Because I was just like, because I like one, I have a really good memory, so it was a kid's play, so it wasn't that hard. And two, I just was like, I love this part, I love this, I love the princess. And then
She was doing it for love of the game.
yeah, and then the day of what was it? It was dress rehearsal, and the girl who did the Lost Princess got sick. And so I was like, I can do it. I can fill in. And so I filled in. I knew all the lines. I knew all the scenes. And then she was well for the real play, so I didn't get to do it.
Damn, so you're saying that when you poisoned that girl, you miscalculated and she wasn't
miscalculated.
sick enough
Didn't
for
give her
long
enough
enough?
Lily of the Valley.
Ugh.
But my teacher did tell me she was very impressed.
That's
And that the
very
next
sweet.
year I would get a good part. And then I got bullied out of that school, so I never got to be in. It's okay. I was like, my time.
That's right.
was
Stand
ready.
aside,
I was ready
boys.
for it to happen. I was ready for anyone in that play to be sick because I was a kazoo player in it. So
Well, you can cut this line if you want to, but let me just say that if that's how you feel, there's a song in Gypsy that I think will really speak to you. We
is
have
it
it's Mama
Gypsy's-
June's. It's Mama June's time.
I was thinking it was
or
the,
Mama. Sorry, Mama Rose.
Rose's turn.
Rose's turn.
Oh, I know that song. I watched Glee.
Okay, but you don't know what it's about because you haven't watched Gypsy.
I can feel it though.
Okay, we will. My point is, we're gonna watch Gypsy
All that
together.
fucking- what did it get me? Why did I do it?
Oh, girl.
You think I
Please.
didn't listen to that? You think I haven't
No,
listened
I
to
know,
that on?
I know it's iconic, but I'm saying even if you did listen to it, you don't know. It's like it's like one of the last songs. You have to like get there.
Okay, I'll watch Gypsy with you.
with me.
With you.
Yeah, not by
With
yourself.
you.
With me.
Chapter 2. The difference between Yiddish and Hebrew is Latin and Italian.
Oh, okay. Because I was gonna say.
I think Hebrew is like an ancient.
Well, just to be clear, I wrote that in my notes. I said I'm not sure I understand the difference between Yiddish and Hebrew. I'm thinking about like from like the audience's perspective. You're like, oh, and by the way, Chelsea, the difference between Yiddish and Hebrew. you
Yeah.
know.
Sorry, guys. There was a note that Chelsea left. Hebrew is an ancient Semitic language used for prayer and modern Israel life, while Yiddish is an Ashkenazi diaspora language based on German and Slavic influences.
That's okay. I had a feeling. I thought like maybe Yiddish was something that diaspora speaks.
It makes sense. It
and
sounds like
Hebrew is
it's
like for
well,
text.
Well, I think that was like, yeah, I think even my joking comparisons, like Hebrew is like the Latin of it, where it's like this is the ancient language. This is the one that the religious texts are written in. And Yiddish is like kind of like the romance languages, I guess, like comes out of that because it's based off like it mixes together stuff. And I do love Yiddish words, I will
They are
say.
fun. They're fun to say.
They're good. Chapter 2, a showy dinner.
Mm-hmm.
So Max is telling everyone at dinner about this new Yiddish play that's going on the circuit. And so we kind of learn a little bit of the lore of how, like, we were talking about how all these immigrant communities had different cultures. So there's a theater that's doing, like, exclusively Yiddish plays.
Which is cool.
And so that's what he wants to do. And Sadie and Sophie say, ugh, we're not into plays anymore. We are seeing the moving pictures. And Grandpa says something that made me really think, where he said, moving pictures? You can see moving people. Why are you going to see moving pictures?
Oh, that was really good.
And I was like, he's right.
That is really good. It reminds me of one of my all-time favorite, like it was like a meme from the do you remember the era of memes on like Facebook where it would be like a person's face and then sort of like a multicolored background
Yeah.
and then the text and the impact font?
Yeah.
And it was like an angry dad or like an overbearing like father, and it was like, Facebook, how about you Facebook and study? And I think about that every time I
good.
go onto Facebook for like the last 15 years. And so when he said that, he was like, moving pictures. What about moving people? I was like, this guy's a genius.
Yeah, he's right. And I was
This is
like,
good.
he's got a good point. He's
is good.
making points. But Sadie and Sophie say that the movies are smooth.
Which I will admit, at first, I thought they were just saying like, they look smooth up on like the screen.
Yeah.
But then I think they might even say in the text that it was slang.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, smooth rocks.
So
Like,
we're gonna bring smooth back.
We got to bring smooth back.
Oh, it's smooth.
Oh, like later when we go to celebrate Cinco de Mayo, not to like lie about or like I guess like reveal the curtain.
Yeah.
About when this is
inside
recorded.
baseball.
Inside baseball about when this is recorded. But like, yeah, I'm gonna absolutely pull that out and be like, guys, this margarita, smooth as hell.
The smooth.
Smooth margarita.
I like it. I'm into us bringing it back. And then this also dawned on me while I was driving the other day after reading this, that moving pictures, the movies.
And I wrote, and I'll say it now, girl.
I know. Well, it's one of those things, it's like I kind of knew it inherently, but I hadn't thought about it because it's like, I had heard, obviously like the talking pictures, like talkies. Like I knew they called it that, so obviously moving like movies is first. But it's so interesting that it has become so like, it's so interesting that a word that we use so like as the word came from an abbreviation for a word is more what I'm saying. Like
That's true.
not that I was surprised that that's what it was. It's just like interesting to look back at the etymology and be like, this was like the teen slang for like, oh, we're going to the movies.
That's
Like,
true. I guess movies were for boomers the way that now we like to joke about how like Gen Alpha doesn't know what a floppy disk is when they see the picture on like Microsoft Word or whatever.
the save button. Yeah.
The save button. Yeah, and it looks like a floppy disk and they
Mhm.
don't have any reference for it, which is fine. We
Fine.
love and support all of our Gen Alpha. Again,
Listening to this pod.
well, I imagine that they are the second biggest demographic right under the elderly. For
Yes,
you.
yeah. For sure.
For sure. So I think it's right. Like when boomers, your parents, were
Yeah.
born, they were like, we're going to the movies, and their parents were probably like, these kids. They don't even
gonna rot your
know.
brain.
Yeah, they don't even know about the moving people.
The moving people in the
All
theaters.
they know, all they care about is the moving pictures.
Exactly. And Rebecca wants to go see the moving pictures, but she
Desperately.
is too young. And I'm
How
like, what does that
make
mean?
sense?
She's gonna think the train's gonna hit her.
She probably would.
Yeah.
Look, she is great, and she has tenacity, which I like.
Her whole family's mean to her.
And they're so mean to her.
No one has time for her.
Yeah. I don't know. They had to have kid movies. I don't know. I guess the only movies I know from that time period are like deeply upsetting. Like there's
What about like the Man on the
Nosferatu.
Moon? No,
Oh, well, that's like the 20s, right?
this was Nosferatu.
No, I'm sorry. I meant like the Nosferatu is the 20s. I don't know when the Man on the Moon was from. The other one I was thinking of, which I think might be, yeah, we talked about Train Heist. There's that really good Joan of Arc movie, and
Yeah.
I can't remember if that's in the 20s or the late teens.
I think I think we probably don't know many of these movies. I think
Damn.
I think the movies that because I think they talk about it in the Peek in the Past a little bit. These are more serials. Like it's almost like TV shows.
Yeah.
It's like you'd go watch like the 30-minute movie and
Oh,
then
like
you'd
at the
watch the next
Nickelodeon.
week. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's more of what this is.
So they were like verticals.
Yeah. And so Rebecca, at this point too, Victor is like, all right, well, like Benny can't go to the movies either, so Benny and I will go play baseball in the park. And then Rebecca is like, wow, both my siblings, all my creepy siblings have another creepy sibling they can hang out with except for me.
Yeah.
Like,
I think she literally says like, well, the boys are boys, so that's different.
yeah.
And then the twins are twins. And that just leaves little old Rebecca.
Yeah, the twins and her share a room, and the twins just whisper all night to each other.
I hate the twins
The
so
twins
much.
are the
The
worst.
twins suck.
They're just creepy.
They remind me of like, I can't remember if they're twins or if they're just brothers, but like there's those two like siblings in Bob's Burgers that like are their friends.
Yeah.
And they're creepy.
Yeah.
And that's what I think the twins are like.
I mean, identical twins are inherently a little creepy, especially if they like being identical twins.
Like I mentioned, like my cousins are twins because I used to nanny them. They're 20 now, and they're still identical, unfortunately, but they have like their own personalities. Sometimes I'm just like, you're men, you're blonde, and you're identical twins. Like, grow up.
Yeah.
Like,
Get a life.
what are we doing? You're 20 years old.
Get out of here, bozo.
Become a brunette.
Yeah.
Look different than your brother. Get out of here.
Have you ever heard of like the identical twins who marry the identical twins?
I have heard of that, and I don't like it.
I don't like it at all.
I just think like, then if you have kids, what they're like brother cousins.
They are more genetically similar to
Blech.
siblings
Blech.
than yeah. They are
I get-
cousins, but they are like genetically similar to siblings.
Yeah, so they're
It's
brother
crazy.
cousins.
They're brother cousins.
So if you think that's like exactly what I said, they're brother cousins.
Exactly.
Thanks. Can brother cousins be the subtitle of this episode?
Brother cousins. Yeah,
Yeah, nice.
we can do that.
If you think about it, we're kind of brother cousins.
Are we?
Only in like emotionally.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I could feel
not
that.
genetically,
No, not at all.
as we discussed.
Until we wear our dresses.
I just remember the dresses again. I got really excited. Oh.
So then we somehow start talking about this Russian fairy tale. I think it's because Bubby is wearing a pin that has like a rabbit on it, and it's reminding everyone of the Russian tale of clever Karina. And Max, out of work actor, decides to like stretch his acting chops. Ooh, chosen. Decides to test his acting chops here by being like, I'll tell the story of clever Karina to everyone. And then Rebecca's like, and I'll help.
Yeah. Again, this makes perfect sense to me.
It does. It's
But you
just-
also have to remember, like, there's no TV.
Mhm.
I don't even know if they have radio in 1914, if I'm being honest. Like, there's no TikTok around the table. Look, this is the only entertainment this dumb family's gonna get.
Any other reason I'm mocking Rebecca is because it's something I would do.
I know,
You
we've talked
know?
about this before. It's like you and I would have been absolutely so ready to become Karina.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they do this whole Russian fairy tale that's very weird.
I gotta be so real with you.
Yeah.
And I don't know how much we want to or even can get into the specifics of the fairy tale, but it is around, like so many of them, it's around a riddle, right? And then Karina like solves the riddle with her like cleverness.
Yeah.
I did not understand the solution to the riddle at all.
No, I didn't either.
Okay, thank God, because like it's one of those ones where it's like, I stand but I'm sleeping, and I speak but I say no words, like one of those types of riddles. And so then they're like, usually those are like, then it's a concept, right?
Well, it's like she got like, so basically she like the czar will give something to, basically her dad needs something from the czar, and the czar and someone else in town need the same thing.
Yeah, they're in a dispute.
And so the czar says, okay, whichever one of your daughters can bring X to me, but she cannot come on foot or by horse, and she cannot wear clothes, but she cannot be naked, and she must present this thing. And so then clever Karina.
I think it's like she must have a present, but it can't be a gift.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I don't remember what that part is, but clever Karina rides a giant hare, which is like a rabbit, obviously.
She wears a fishnet,
Fishnet,
and she
presents him
rides
with
a
something.
giant rabbit instead of a horse or a donkey. And then when it's like she needs to have a present but not a gift. Oh, I might have just figured it out. Okay, she needs to have a present but not a gift.
Ah.
And then what she does is she brings a partridge in a bird cage, but then she pretends to open the latch, and instead she like beats her hands.
Yeah.
So maybe in that sense she was presenting. So she didn't give a gift, but she presented. I don't know. That was the part that I was like,
But
this is
that's
confusing.
relying on Russian present being same thing.
Exactly. Well, I'm like, but maybe that's what I'm saying. It's like maybe this entire thing makes a lot more sense in Russian. But like,
That's true.
and they tried to find like an analog in English, it just doesn't really translate.
Yeah.
But
The coolest part of the story was that the czar was so impressed that he was like, when she grows up, I'm gonna marry her.
yeah.
And I was like, oh,
yeah,
That's
because
tough.
she's like a child.
yeah.
Well, look, The czars, if it's 1915, the czar's got 3 years. Like, do you know you have 30 minutes, buddy?
You have 30 minutes.
It's about to be Joe
Oh, and we
over
talk about
czars.
we get into that right next now.
We get into that right next now?
Right next now.
Yeah,
Because,
things are going so bad.
because well, first Papa Grandpa spits and mentions the Tsar because he's like, "Pfft, the Tsar." Because fun fact, guys, the Russians did not like the Jews that lived in Russia. If you ever
Yeah, it
seen a
sucks.
musical that Chelsea's ever seen, Fiddler on the Roof, you'd know all about that.
Yeah, I've never seen Fiddler on the Roof, but wow, okay.
Good timing.
Thanks, Alexa. But well, now I'm distracted. The Tsar, I think that this is like a lesser known, again, that's why I really liked this being in this book and thinking about it being for children and being like a historical novel. I was like, I think this is something that's like poorly understood because, especially like nowadays, like the number one thing I think we remember about that period is that the Russians were on the Allied side of World War II. And so you're like, yeah, the Allied side, that was the good side, and it was the side that was not committing genocide against Jewish people. And it's like, it's a little more complicated than that.
I mean, the Russians in both the world wars, I think, are kind of like the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Yes, that's what I
You
mean.
know,
Like, I don't
it's
think that
not
they weren't like coming in strong, being like, and us, such great friends of England and America.
It's like the Cossacks fighting in
Yeah.
America. It's like, do we need these guys? We do because they can.
because they can.
But do we want them? No.
Or like when France got involved in our colonial war just because they hated the English
Yeah,
that
exactly.
much.
Like, yeah, and they're like, let's mess them up.
They're like, you know what? That
Lafayette.
sounds really fun.
It's
Yeah.
good times. But so we start talking about how Papa needs help at the store, and he asks Victor, and Victor says he doesn't want to. And then Rebecca's like, I'll help because she can earn money. And she's like, this is where Rebecca's side plot hatches, where she's going to make.
This is when money comes into play
This
in
is
a
where the
big
money
way.
comes in. She's like, if I can get my own candlesticks, then I can show everyone at Sabbath that I can light the candles better than anyone else, and they'll be so impressed. So she's like, I need to work. I need to hustle. I need to make money for these candles. And so we talk about that. So Rebecca offers, and Papa says, "Oh, sure, let's
She
go."
gets in her hustle grind set.
She gets in her hustle grind
Yeah.
set. But then we have to talk about, as Chelsea and I just alluded to, the war.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's money. Money is a big deal in this conversation, like at this dinner table, not just because of Rebecca's desire, right?
Yeah.
But also
Because Papa needs a lot of money because his brother Jacob has written him a letter, so they're reading it at the table. Things are not good in Russia. They are worried because Jacob's sons are old enough to be conscripted, and apparently
and wasn't the age crate? It was like 12 or 14 or something.
his sons are 12 and 15, and so 12 is old enough to be conscripted.
That's
If
some
you're
child
Jewish, only if you're Jewish.
Only if you're Jewish. That's some child
Soldier.
soldier shit. Like,
Yes.
it's fucked up.
And they would it says they would often make sure that the Jewish conscriptors or conscripted went to like the worst areas.
And had
So
the most dangerous jobs.
Yeah.
Like a little 12-year-old.
So they're worried about that. It's like things are getting bad because obviously World War I is like escalating in Europe. And their youngest daughter, Anna, is getting very, very sick. And Jacob says he's not sure if she can survive the winter. So they have enough money to like sneak out of Russia, but they don't have enough money to get the boat tickets to America yet. And so they need to. And this is where Max is starting to piss me off. Because Max keeps going like, you need to get that. I can't help you at all, but like, you need to pay for that.
So,
And it's stressful for Papa. And this guy who's not even offering to help is like, they're going to die if you don't get them out there. You need to do something about this. And I think when you're already stressed about something and someone who's offering you no solutions and no help is telling you how imperative it is to get something done, it sends me to rage, especially that person is eating at your house and like not helping out at all and just like eating your food, eating your challah bread and just being like, it's going to be bad if you don't get them out there. I can't help you, but you should do it.
okay, well, I have like 17 thoughts. So, okay. I hear you. You're valid. I recognize what you're saying. He wasn't not helping. He was entertaining the children.
Yeah.
I would love to know, and maybe they'll get into it in like a future book, in which case you'll have to let me know. But I'm like, what is the family tree and the family dynamic here? Because the patriarch and matriarch have made it over, right?
Yeah.
The grandparents. And then of their at least 2 children, they brought one family, or they brought the dad over. I guess it's unclear whether or not Rebecca's mom was born in America versus Russia.
Her mom's born in Russia.
Okay, so maybe they were already married, I think timeline wise, by the time they moved here. So like it's like mom, like grandma, grandpa, one son, one son's wife, and then other son stays in Russia. Is Max Jacob's son?
Max's mom's cousin.
So Max is from the complete other side of the family.
Yes.
So he's not even related to Jacob and Anna.
Yes.
So I do hear now why you are like, okay, well, like, what do you fucking care?
Yeah.
Like,
It's his brother. It's
so
dad's
it's
brother.
like
yeah.
he's like shoveling food in his mouth, and he's like, you should really do something about that, buddy.
Yeah. I can't pay
see-
rent.
Okay,
so,
you
yeah.
know what? Like, yes, like, but yes, it is
That's
true
why
that
I
Max
called
has
him a
no
mooch.
money.
Yeah.
Well, maybe he wants to marry Anna.
That's tough.
It is tough,
It's gonna be tough.
but they do. Well, you're gonna go into this next
Yeah.
part.
But well, what part? Just
Just being like the amount of money, like,
Oh, yeah.
this is when like the conversions and everything come into play.
well, this was funny because the conversion is that like it's like $30 a person for a ticket. And I did like think like I know conversion's off, but I was like that is kind of funny. Be like, $150 bring 5 people over. I'm like, I'll give you the money. Like here you
yeah,
go.
I got you.
But the conversion rate for that is in US dollars today. It's $5,600, which
So
is
it's-
quite a lot of money.
Yeah, it's like but it's also, again, I have a lot of thoughts.
Yeah.
It is a lot of money. It is, if I found out that, say, like, I don't have a brother, but like my like aunt and uncle or whatever were in a place where they could die, or their like child was like deathly ill and could die, I would sell my car. Like, I like there like
Yeah.
that would be like an emergency situation. I don't understand why Grandpa and Bubby had like nothing to say. They were also silent.
Yeah.
They were also silent, and they're the
But
head of the
our
family.
grandpa and Bubby, mom's parents, potentially.
Oh, maybe so. Maybe so.
Yeah. So is this maybe?
So that could be that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is a lot of money, and it's not like this family has a lot of money.
Yeah.
Uh,
Although I mean, they seem to be doing not like well, but they don't seem impoverished.
he owns a shop.
Yeah.
And he even talks about, I mean, we're getting to it, but when he gets to the shop, he talks about it like, yeah, I used to work in a warehouse and I worked my way up to have this shop. So I'm like, oh, he's an enterprising businessman.
Like all good American immigrants should be.
Sure. I also felt it bothered me
Yeah.
what happened next with Rebecca.
Oh yeah. So Rebecca offers mama and papa her money. She has 27 cents, and she says, "I would like to help bring the money
It's
over."
such a sweet thing for a young child to do.
And they say like that's barely anything.
They say, fuck yourself, Rebecca.
they're like that's
useless."
not going to do anything for this. So
Well, so I want you to know that I then went and did the conversion on this. 27 cents in 1915 would be about $10 today,
Okay.
which is, I know it's not a lot, but every little bit counts. And if you don't believe me, you can ask 44th President of the United States and noted drone aficionado Barack Obama, because he was primarily elected on donations under $10.
Small donations. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just thought that I think that that's the kind of empathy that you want to like foster in your child.
It is a little bit weird. I think it might be a cultural thing with almost like, which we see a little bit later, like that's like, no, we're the parents, like you don't earn the money, like for this, like that's like embarrassing that we couldn't pay for this ourselves.
But who would know?
I know. I think it's a
Anyway,
cultural
I'm
thing.
sorry.
Speaking of which,
Go on.
chapter 3, 1 for the money, 2 for the show. I do like how 2 chapters were named after that in this book and no other.
Yeah.
So it's like 1 for the money, 2 for the show, not 3 to get ready and 4 to go. It's just 1 for the money and 2 for the show.
That's right.
And then goes
I
back.
think if they could have made 3 to get ready and 4 to go work,
Yeah.
then they would have, but they couldn't. It doesn't matter.
couldn't do
Keep
it.
going.
So Rebecca gets ready to go to work, and I also thought this is a very Chelsea moment. She's looking at the magazines with the movie stars on it, and she's noticing how they tilt their hats, and so she's putting on her hat, and she's like tilting it just at the right angle so that it's like a movie star. And she is a little glamorous girl because she puts on her dress that her mom calls her burgundy dress, and she's like, "Excuse me, mother." In the catalog, it was referred to as rich garnet tweed.
So write that down, Mom. No, I loved this. When she talks about tipping the hat, in my mind, I imagined her as the iconic like first shot of Rose DeWitt Bukater in Titanic, when she's got
Similar
the
time
hat,
period.
like exactly, and she's got a hat at the angle.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm like, that's so good.
The Titanic
Also-
already happened at this point.
Yes,
And we don't
I
talk
think
about it at all.
I think I said that. I might have like said it to myself in my heart. But at the beginning of this recording, when you said the date, I said, yeah, so we're only 3 years removed from the
2.
Titanic. No,
1912.
no, but it's 1915, isn't it?
No, it's 1914.
Why did I think it was 1915 this whole time?
I don't know. I mean, the date on the front says it's 1914, but they lie about that. So maybe you read it somewhere and I missed it.
It doesn't matter. But anyway, so you're right. It's 2 years removed. So she's a glamour girl, and she's gonna go work with daddy.
So she's walking to the store, and I think this is to your point a little bit, where they have to walk to the store, and Dad says we're going to skip the trolley so we can save some money. And she's like, well, if we're saving pennies from the trolley, then why can't we take, like, I think she says the trolley's 10 cents. She's like, if we're saving 20 cents, then why won't you take my 27 cents? You know?
Because I don't respect you, Rebecca. Sure is a dumb little girl.
So I want to bring Victor.
Yeah.
So she starts helping out clean the shop, and she, like, polishes things off. She dusts things off. She goes to sweep outside. On like the front stoop. And also I like this part because it was all like streets that I lived on. It's
Yeah, it
like
was
7th
cute.
Street, like East 7th Street, Orchard Street.
Rivington.
Yeah, Rivington. I know the neighborhood, and it is a very like pretty old like New York neighborhood.
It's very cute.
And so then this boy from her school, Leo Berg, comes up. And he's like, you call that sweeping? Like, no, like, me. And he's just like
Oh, he sucked.
And I do think the little boy outfits at this time are terrible.
Yeah, where it's like little, they call them knickers, and
Yeah.
it's like little little shorts with
pants.
stockings.
Yeah.
It's tough.
And like little hat.
Yeah.
It's like little like bloomer pants, and you're like, it's like half pants. It's like stockings, little shoes, a little jacket, and like a little newsboy cap.
Yeah, it really was like, we're gonna make, I mean, I think some of this is also like class related, but it's like we're gonna make these children so decorative.
Yeah.
Like this is like a decorative idea of what like a man would wear. So it's like it's
like
not
a mini man.
practical.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not, well, yeah, but it's not like it's not like a man costume, right? Like no adult man would ever wear that. So it's like, yeah, we take like the shape and idea of a man, and wouldn't it be funny to put like a little baby boy in it, and he's got like a little jacket and everything,
Yeah.
but then he's got little shorts on.
A little like,
It's
so
like,
you know
so
he's not a full
stupid.
man.
It's like,
you
'cause
know?
he's not a man, and he has a bad. He was a rude dude with a bad tooth.
Yeah, there's always canonically an American Girl doll book. There's always a usually rude boy in your class.
Yeah, like a snotty little boy.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so that he's token snotty boy.
Yeti, are you the token snotty boy?
No, he's token nice boy.
Token nice boy, very good boy.
Yeah.
Yeti thoughts?
But so Leo is with his mother, Mrs. Berg, and she's been
And
up
she was
and
really
down.
nice.
Yeah, she's up and down the Lower East Side looking for shoes for him, and
And he says he hates every shoe, and I'm like, get over yourself. The way that my mother would have been like, we are at the shoe store, pick a shoe, or you get no shoe.
but Dad is smart. Papa is smart.
Oh, he takes them for an absolute ride.
Yeah, he's like, well, what if I told you, I don't think I have too many shoes that you would like, but I might have a pair that's made with real cowboy leather. And of course, being a 1914 boy who's seen the movies, because Rebecca's like, how can he see the movies, but I can't see the movies?
He was like, gee golly, mister.
He's like, oh, I want the cowboy leather shoes. And then Rebecca's like, cowboy leather. And Dad's like, cowboy leather is the same thing. Just don't tell anyone.
Yeah,
okay?
leather's leather.
He's like, leather's leather. It's just how you put it.
Yeah.
And so he tries on the cowboy leather boots. He loves them. Mom also knows this is a wink wink exchange and is like, cool.
That part I thought was important to note so that we knew that like
Mom's
she
not
wasn't
dumb.
Yeah, she wasn't getting taken for a ride. Like she was like, thank you for helping me trick my incredibly annoying child.
She's like,
So
yes.
this can be over.
She's like, I'm so glad we found these cowboy leather boots, Leo. Thank God.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, Mom is noticing that Rebecca's got some doilies out.
Yeah. She's
And
been doiling.
she's been doiling, and she says, you have some very fine crochet work, which I wanted to go back and say, Bubby had mentioned that Rebecca had the best crochet work because Rebecca's trousseau was the most full, which I felt like is a trousseau that's something that you know about.
Yes.
Okay.
So I know about trousseau. I know about it, I think primarily, or maybe first, I want to say it was even in like the Little House books. Which also, we've talked about some other, I don't know if this is too inside baseball, you can cut this out.
No, it's
but,
fine.
like,
Nothing is.
Okay. But like we've talked about like, if you ever, God forbid, run out of American Girl media, that we could look at like the princess like diary, royal diary
Yes, yes.
books. Because they're a
I
term.
know we talk about that a lot on this show.
Okay.
I want to
Another
prepare
one,
people.
Okay, good. Another one we could talk about is the Little House books. 'Cause
Those would be interesting.
I think Ma Ingalls had a trousseau because it was a common thing, and it has to do with the way that like marriage was so transactional,
Yeah.
like across cultures.
Yeah.
And so it's a thing that like a woman would travel with when she left her family house and entered her house, and it was to start the linens.
Oh, okay. That's kind of
So
I garnered that from this, but
yeah, and I think, like, they do a good job of kind of, like, seeding that stuff, but, like, a trousseau could also become, like, if you were wealthy, it could become, like, full of, like it could have some antiques, it could have, like, say, like, silks and satins, it could have lace from, like, Europe,
yeah.
but, like, if you were a working class person or, like, a pioneer or whatever, it was the things that you could make, you would make them for years ahead of time, so that it was also a way to show, like, your
So
new
you're ready.
family. Yeah, and also, like, your new family, meaning, like, your mother-in-law and stuff like that, that, like, yeah, you know what you're doing. You know how because, like, women were responsible for, like, making all the linens for the
Yeah.
house.
Okay.
Uh,
That's kinda what I gathered from it. Like, because I keep talking about how, like, she's much better Rebecca is much better than her sisters at crocheting, and she has the most amount of stuff in it and the nicest looking stuff. And she also does privately think to herself, "If I'm old enough to, like, start my marriage, like, biddings,
trousseau,
then why
yeah.
can't I go to the fucking movies?" And I'm
Which
like,
she's
"Girl."
right. And also, I thought this was crazy because it's gonna come up later, but it's um, like, they're starting so early.
Yeah.
'Cause, like, the other thing that I think is really fun that they talk about a lot when they talk about the trousseau in this book is, how it's already something that's kind of falling out of fashion,
Yeah.
and not a lot of girls do it
Not
anymore,
especially New York City girls.
especially in New York City, and so, I think, like, it's very funny when they start to be like, "Okay, but, like, what if you run out of things for your trousseau?" And it's like, "Well, she's, what, 10?
She's
Oh,
9.
she's 9, so she's
At
got
least 7
time."
years to remake it.
Yeah, so, like, even if she had been doing this since she was 2, which I don't
Yeah.
think she was, she's got more than enough
She's
time.
probably been doing it for, like, 2 years, I'm guessing.
Exactly.
Like,
So, anyway.
it's all good. But Mrs. Berg notices her aptitude with it and offers her Rebecca's like, "Oh, well, if you like this toy, like, I'm happy to give it. I have plenty." And so she gives it, and then when Mrs. Berg is leaving, she shakes Rebecca's hand. She slips in a nice little quarter.
I
So Rebecca
know.
has doubled her earnings, basically.
Yeah.
And this helps Rebecca hatch a little plot where
So she gets back on her hustle grind set.
"I think maybe I am, like, maybe getting closer to Candle than I thought."
Yeah.
Um
Those candles will be mine.
And then but we have a little interlude to see that Papa is a good man because Leo leaves his shoes there,
Mhm.
and it's
His
like
old
yeah,
shoes,
he's like,
because
"We
he
don't need
walks out
them."
in his
Yeah, he loves his
cowboy.
cowboy boots. He's like,
Yeah.
"Ha!" Walks out with them, and then an Italian mom comes in with Joey, her son. So some things never change,
That
and
was powerful.
Joey needs new shoes, and so she's like, "Can you just, like, stretch them out because we can't, like, afford to buy new shoes.
Mhm.
Whatever you can do to help with the soles." And this is when Papa says, "Oh, I get it. I used to work in a warehouse. Like, I
Yeah.
scrimped and saved, now I own this shop." Papa goes in the back, and he takes Leo's old shoes and basically shines them up and, like, adds a new sole to them,
I
and then
know,
is
it's like
like, "Here you go. Here's his shoes." And Mama's like, "These are not the same shoes. They're different color." And he goes, "No, these are the same shoes. I just polished them and I just fixed them. They're so much better for your son now." And so then Mama catches on. She's like, "Oh, thank you."
yeah.
And they do mention in the beginning that the sign on Papa's door is in Yiddish, Italian, and English. So they must
I
live in
like
like an
that.
Italian neighborhood
Yeah.
too. And so then Rebecca's like, "Dad, Papa, why'd you do that?" And he goes, "It's mitzvah. Like, we do good things for people because we can. Like, we help people out because we want people to help us out. So this is just what we do when we can help others." And so it's a very nice lesson. And Rebecca starts to think about her own mitzvah, and she's like, "Should I do candles or help pay for a ticket?"
Yeah, should I be thinking more about other people, or should I get my candles I've always desired?
And therein lies the question of the rest of this book.
This is, yeah, I think really, like, the theme that carries the rest of the story forward.
I do enjoy that throughout all this, she is kind of always like from this point on, she is kind of thinking like I can help make money for
Mhm.
the tickets, but she still is also like, but candles. Like,
I get it, because
because
I
she's a
think
kid.
she's a kid, but also, like, part of the theme of this book is like, being on that sort of, like, knife's edge, not between, like, childhood and womanhood, because
Yeah.
this isn't a fucking Britney Spears
But
song. Growing up and starting to be, like, clued in on family conversations, being a bigger part of how things are happening. Like, I think, like, doing the prayers is sort of like a, symbolic of that, right? Like, she wants to be at the table in that way. She does not want to be treated like a child.
Yeah.
And so I think, like, well, yes, like, it's very funny on the surface. Hi, sir. It's very funny on the surface that she's like, help my impoverished family escape, like, religious persecution in Russia, or candles. But I think it's like, some of it is like, stay in the world where all of my needs are taken care of and big things are handled by my parents, or get a seat at the table, but that also means taking responsibility for some of those big things myself. Which I think is like a really sweet. Again, I really fucked with Rebecca. I
No, I
loved her
do too.
story,
And I mean, I think
but
it's like
I know you did. Yeah.
I think it's kind of like to your point, it's like conceptually wrapping your head around the fact that there's bigger things than the little things that you want. Like I think you're at that age where you're starting to like it's like almost like an intrusive thought that's like this money could do better with something else. Like, but this is what I want. But is it better to do this? You know?
Well, and don't you remember, like, I feel like some of that is also, it's kind of a growing pain, right? Because, like, I think before even this moment in a child's life where they have to ask themselves this question in a real way, they do start to become aware that, like, oh, there are problems in the world, but my parents solved them for me. Like, at first, it's like, I have no problems. And then it's like, oh, there are problems, but my parents solved them for me. Hopefully, if you have parents that, that every child deserves, my parents take care of me. They take care of the house. They take care of the things that go wrong. And then there's a point where you start to become, so like that I think is the friction point. And then eventually you get to the Rebecca point where you're like, my parents take care of things, but maybe I should be too, especially if I'm going to ask for stuff like,
And maybe there are things my parents can't take care of.
well, that I think is then like step 4.
Yeah.
Is like, oh, fuck, actually, I can't, this is for me to solve.
That's what Kit learns, unfortunately, the hard way.
That is
Thanks
tough.
to her deadbeat dad.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
we're not on
Kit.
Kit. We're on chapter 4, 2 for the show.
And a show it is.
So the worst insult ever. Rebecca's chore is to clean the candlesticks that she cannot light.
That was tough. And I have to feel like the mom know. The
Yeah,
mom knew.
The mom knows.
Oh, the mom knows.
And she's like, she's in her head losing it, being like cleaning all this wax off. She's like, I'm not even gonna light these motherfuckers, and I have
Yeah.
to clean all this
And
dirty
I
wax
would
off
do
'em.
anything to light them. Also, wow, I would do anything to light them.
Yeah.
Also, I just want to let you know, because again, there was another moment where they talk about how much something is, and I did the conversion because she's in her mind, she's like, the candles are $2.
Yeah.
I did the math. Are you ready for this? Those candles are $64. This 9-year-old wants 60. What are they, fucking Lalabo? Like
Silver.
they're like the most beautiful candle. I was like,
I don't
also,
think I haven't even bought $64 candles.
I've never bought a $64.
Is it each or the pair?
It has to be the pair, right? But I'm like, also, like, if these are for like a religious like ceremony where you're having to use them like every Saturday, shouldn't they be more utilitarian than $64 candles?
It's also so funny because there's no point to this exercise because like it's just to show everyone that she can light candles. So it's a waste of her money, kind of.
No, she should help her uncle and cousins, absolutely. But I just could not get over that this 9-year-old is like absolutely like sitting in her room coveting $64 candles.
Yeah. And so she's counting it up because she has been like slowly accruing a little bit more money.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's trying to figure it out. And she's at home. Mom and Papa are at work. Her siblings are all doing various activities around the home. Her creepy sisters are pricing Hamlet in Scary Unison.
They're like
I can only
speaking
imagine.
to Hamlet to each other.
For
very
class.
weird. Very weird.
What also felt very weird because also was like it feels like a kind of normal homework assignment, and it's just weird to think about that kids in 1914 were also having to learn Hamlet. You know,
I guess
in a different way.
In a different way.
And so then Rebecca is like, she's desperate to make more money and she is listening to the twins do Hamlet and she comes up with like her only logical conclusion is to panhandle on the street.
Well, to do like a little street show.
Like she's seen the urchins on Orchard Street do.
Did she specifically use the word urchin?
I
Okay, I was
didn't.
gonna be like, because like, also again, this is the kind of thing that I would have done as a child.
I would have done this
like,
too. This is where Rebecca really sings to
This
me.
was so cute.
So she like goes out and she brings Benny, her younger brother.
She puts her hat on like Pearl White, real person.
And I think one of the twins is like, take Benny with you. And he's like, please take me. And she's like, no, you're going to ruin everything. And she's like, fine, you can be my organ crank monkey.
Yeah.
And I was like, I forgot about the organ crank monkeys.
It was like, this is rough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Rebecca goes out, she like puts her hat down. She starts singing Take Me Out to the Ball Game.
Does seem to be the only song she knows because she also sings it at
She
Papa's
sings it
shop.
later, yeah. And I do think like she's missing the nuance that song out of context is like irrelevant to people if there's no ball game. So she sings it and no one's really paying attention. And so she sings a different song and people start to pay attention and a man like drops her like a penny. She's like, okay, we're cooking now.
Yeah.
So
I'm figuring it out.
People are coming around. And then she's like, you know, people love jokes. And so she tells the lion joke.
Which I will say made more sense when she told it because they had 2 lion heads on either side of their stoop.
Yes. So she's doing this and she's like razzle-dazzling the audience. A little crowd's growing. and people are throwing pennies in. She's got 6 pennies. All of a sudden, someone yanks her ear. It's Bubby.
Physical violence
Have you ever
from
been
this
yanked by
Bubby.
the ear?
No, that's psychotic.
That would hurt so bad.
Yeah, no, that's weird.
And so I feel like it's a very old grandma thing to do,
Yes.
to grab you by your ear.
I wasn't into it though.
And oh, what's the other slang?
She says to Benny when Benny's being annoying, she says, "Don't be a nudge."
Oh yeah.
I've
I saw,
never heard of
I
nudge
saw
as a noun like that.
So it's pronounced it's a Yiddish word,
Oh,
and it's nuge.
what?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah,
See, this is the kind of magic that happens when we get to talk about the books. Because in my mind, I was thinking it was a nudge, like, and I was like, is that where nudge comes from? Like when you nudge someone to do something is like a
but
noun.
nuge is good too.
But nuge is also good, and it being Yiddish is
Yeah.
also good.
Don't be a
Okay.
nuge.
Don't be a nuge. Well, I don't know if we're allowed to say it, but anyway,
I think we are.
I think we can say it.
And so Bubby is ashamed because she is begging in the streets, like the urchins
She's
on
not
Orchard
begging;
Street.
she's performing. But anyway,
This is the whole thing I feel like with a lot of this era of immigration where it was like you have to earn money, but you have to earn money the right way.
yeah,
You know, you have to earn money in the way that we think that you should. Because we forgot to mention that Papa keeps being like, Rebecca will not be an actor. She'll be a teacher.
yeah.
And like,
She'll be a marine biologist.
she'll be a marine biologist.
She'll be a speech therapist.
And so she has shamed the family with her begging. And even worse and comically so, when they finally get back to their apartment, Benny's like, payoff, I helped out with this. And she has to give Benny half the earnings, which I'm like,
I wouldn't have given him half.
I would have given him 2.
I would have given that's what I thought too. She got 6 pennies. She tried to give him 1 penny, and he said no fair.
Mm-hmm.
So then she was like,
But she
fine.
was scared of Bubby
But then
coming
she just
back.
gave him 2 more, like as like hush money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's only made 3 pennies. She's like, after all that work, I only made 3 pennies.
Yeah.
She's like, guess I'm gonna just really have to like go ham on the dolly sales then.
I gotta go all
the
in
doily sales
on my
yeah.
on my grind set. Yeah.
So she starts like going to work with Papa every Saturday, and she's come up with like a sicko plan to like basically while she's cleaning, she'll like lay out the doilies on like the furniture and put them out, and then the fancy women will come in and like look at them, and they'll be like, and they'll like hand her some money, and she'll like quickly wrap it up, and she's like, no one say anything, and she's like, if Papa found out,
he'd kill her. He'd kill his daughter. Yeah. No. Well, I mean, she's no twin, but
there's
no,
not a spare Rebecca, so maybe he wouldn't kill her.
she loved. This was great. Like it honestly, like this was her Goodfellas moment.
Yeah. No, I know.
where-
The
yeah.
scene was set with
It was
like
so good. She's putting them out.
tracking shots.
And then they're like, "Say, little girl, you're doing so great." And then she's like, "Yeah, they're from my trousseau. I couldn't possibly get rid of them." And then like apparently these like Lower East Side women are like, "I'll do anything to get one of those
I want
doilies.
those.
Give it to me."
No one makes doilies anymore.
No one does this. Give them to me. I'll pay you anything. I'll pay you
25 cents?
25 cents, which is like $10 famously.
$10.
10 doilers.
10 doilers. And so she's excited that she's earning money. She has like enough for the candlesticks and then some. And she's like, this is exciting, but oh my gosh, if anyone found out I was doing this, I'd be so mad. And if Bubby finds out that I'm getting rid of all my treasures in the trousseau, she's going to grab both ears and throw me around the room.
It was tough. And this comes back to what I was saying earlier when we were first talking about trousseaus. I don't think she needs to worry about this because she's a baby.
Yeah.
And although I know that people got married earlier, like in the turn of the 20th century, I think she has enough time to restock.
I think
She
still
could-
worst case
she
scenario,
could
she
bring
still
it to
has 6
0.
years.
That's
You
what I'm
know?
saying. Exactly. I think she could bring it to 0.
Yeah.
And I think she still has plenty of time to get it back up.
And so, and if you hear squeaking, Yeti's playing with his toy, I apologize. I'll try and make it lower. So on the walk home, Papa notices Rebecca's anxiety, and he's like, Makushla, what's up?
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, I'm just really anxious about cousin Anna. Is she still sick? And he goes, I have no idea. No one's told us anything. But we're getting closer to earning the money, so hopefully we can get them over here soon.
Yeah.
And Rebecca's like, I guess this is really the impetus for me to give him the money. But then she's like, catch 22. If I come up with having, like, as you say, $64
Yeah.
all of a sudden, they're going to be like, where'd you get the money? I'm going to have to admit that I've been, like, charlataning in the shop.
Yeah, I've been selling off my trousseau.
Yeah. So she's like, and then she gets depressed because she's like, now I can't tell anyone. So now I have all this money and I can't buy the candles because everyone's going to wonder where I got the money for the candles. And I can't also help the family. So she's just sitting on cash.
Can I tell you that I had very Catholic thoughts about this part?
Well, I think I wrote in the note. Like,
and then I said that specifically about this like conundrum she has in her mind,
Yeah.
and then earlier or I think like 2 lines down, you then said, and I was like, oh, that's so funny. You were like, is she
Yeah,
Catholic? She seems so guilty.
Yeah, she's really experiencing like a Catholic level of guilt at
Yeah.
this point in the book, which I thought was funny considering she is canonically Jewish.
Well,
But-
yeah, no, but I was gonna say, while it's not my place to speak
Yeah.
for the Jewish people in their culture, I do remember from the texts that I've read, namely watching Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, that guilt is also, I think, a part of the fabric of like Jewish identity, the way that it is Catholic identity.
It's a good part of religion,
different, but it's similar.
It's a different type of guilt. I think.
Different type of guilt coming from different things.
So yeah, she's starting to feel guilty and it's like eating at her inside. And Max stops by for dinner, picks up a few blintzes off the table and starts
Blintzes
eating
are
them,
good.
and is like again mooching off their food, smacking his fingers.
Family dinner, invited to family dinner. But go on.
He's eating leftover blintzes. That's why I'm saying he's mooching.
Sure.
And he's like, "So, got that money yet for your brother?
How's it going?
It seems like the war's getting
I'm
worse."
Hey, I'm worried about your family. Is everything okay? How's it going?
TikTok. I'm
How's
like,
it going?
I would, if I were dad, I would lose it.
Okay, but
But
then joke. I want you guys to know egg on Caroline's face, because then what happens, Caroline?
well, first there's another joke where they ask Max if he feels like tea, and he's like,
Well, I don't feel like
"I
tea.
don't feel like
Benny, do you
tea."
feel like tea?
Chelsea,
Betty?
do you feel like tea?
Yeah.
And Rebecca's too stressed to even laugh at it, even though
Yeah,
she thinks it's
and
funny.
she's being eaten alive.
Yeah, she's sitting.
By her
Her
by her
stomach
fear.
is in knots. She
Poor
is sitting in.
baby.
She's in the corner. But Max says comes good news. He has been officially cast in a movie serial,
A Charlie Chaplin
a
joint.
Charlie Chaplin joint. So he
Yeah.
is going to be paid weekly. He
Mhm.
is getting out of the doghouse where he's living,
Yeah.
and he can even give Dad a little bit of money.
Which was really
To help.
sweet.
Yes, it's nice. This
Yes.
is where Max changed for me. He's good.
Yes.
And so, yeah, I said she's being eating my guilt as everyone's talking about money because money,
Mhm.
money, 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 money. What's that from? Mamma Mia.
Cabaret.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you're thinking
Money,
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 money.
money.
Ain't it funny?
And then
In
I,
a rich
but I was
man's
singing
world.
Cabaret.
Yeah.
Money, money,
Money,
money,
money,
money,
money,
money,
money, money, money, money.
Another good musical.
Yeah.
Fuck, we should watch that too.
Ugh. Do you guys want a musicals spinoff? Because Caroline and I can really
We can talk
gab.
about musicals with
We can
you.
gab.
Oh, I've been listening to. Well, I meant to say earlier when we were talking about vaudeville.
Yeah.
I've been listening to the "Both Reach for the Gun" song from.
Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, they both. Oh yes, they both. Oh yes, they both reach for the gun, the gun, the gun, the gun.
Oh yes, they both reach for the gun.
For the gun.
It's a good one.
Yeah. Okay,
Come on.
buddy. Oh, you're
Aw.
doing such a terrible job. Oh, are you stupid?
He's scared now.
Oh no, I think he's just embarrassed.
He's just trapped.
I think you're just
Aw,
trapped
that
and
was
embarrassed. That was pathetic.
He's not in a room. So Max invites them all to go see the Charlie Chaplin film, and it seems like Rebecca's finally going to get to the movies, but this is where her Catholic guilt kicks in because she's like, I can't go to the movies because I'm going to pre-punish myself because I deserve to be punished. So then she like blurts out, I have sold everything in my trousseau. I have nothing left. I was earning money for candles and or tickets from Russia, and I am so sorry. And everyone reacts really well to it.
They're very sweet about
But
it.
Bobby does go like, no, your laces.
It is crazy because like she's not explaining it super well at first. Because also she doesn't immediately say, I was trying to figure out a way to help cousin Anna. So I brought my doilies to the shop. Instead, she just says, guys, here I have like I think she had like $8. Which is like a crazy amount of money. And like her mom, it says like her mom has like her mouth is just a thin line and she's like, where did you get this? And I'm like, do you think she robbed a bank? Do you think that she became like
It's like $240.
a child of the night? Yeah,
Yeah.
like what are you talking about? Like but the mom's like, what did you do?
I think that's
And
where
then-
she's stealing it.
Yeah, it just takes that's what I'm saying is like it just takes Rebecca so long to get
explain
to
it,
what
yeah.
I think is the important part of the story.
Yeah.
But then once she does, they're all like, okay, oh well, you're a sweet girl.
Well, and then Papa's like, yeah, I saw you doing that.
yeah,
You're 9. Like, you're not as slick as you think you are. You're
That
not
was
as smooth
cute.
as you think you are.
This is also a thing.
And he was proud of her. He's like, look, she's an entrepreneur.
Don't you feel? And you'll have to tell me if this is true about other American Girl doll books. But I feel like this was such a thing in like children's fiction.
Yeah.
Is like kind, gentle Papa,
Yeah.
mean Mama,
It is, yeah.
and it's very funny.
It's not always true in American Girl, but like sometimes they are daddy's girls. If you listen to Kit episodes, it's the most egregious because dad is a deadbeat and he is not getting a job, and mom is stretched thin, and Kit is like mother.
Well, Molly in the movie was such a daddy's girl. Like she was like obsessed. And
I
was
did
like,
use your line that the energy was terrible between the two of them.
I hated it. It was not good. anyway, but no, like, yeah, he was just like, "Oh, yeah, no, I think that you're very clever and that you are my little entrepreneur." And the mom's like, "Well, I guess I'm not gonna kill you."
And he admires her chutzpah.
Yeah, that was cute.
And then the twins are like, "That's actually not a bad idea. We have a bunch of lace that we also just don't care about. So what if we all sold our lace in Dad's store?" And then Bubby's like, "Well, I have a whole trousseau full of stuff that I'm already married. I'm not
In
using."
which I was like, "Shut the fuck up, Bubby. Nobody wants your hand-me-downs. They want the
The brand new
the
ones.
brand new crochet stitched by the tiniest hands."
And
But I'm
then
also a Bubby anti.
yeah.
So
But I did like this part because Dad's like, or Papa's like, "I think this is a good idea." And Rebecca immediately like decides to start rearranging Dad's shop. And she's like, "Yeah, this whole time that I've been doing this, I've been thinking the cabinet that has the shoe leather in it is ugly and a waste of space, and it would look much better with my lace in it."
that's true.
And he's like, "All right." And
Let's do
everyone
it.
hugs and it ends.
Yeah, it ends very you said this and you're right. It ends very abruptly. Like I was like going and then it was like, "And anyway, let's talk about 1914."
Yeah. There is a weird joke where they're like, "You are just as clever Karina." And it's like, "But you won't have to marry the czar." And I'm like,
Yeah, that was a lot.
it's tough knowing what's coming.
Yeah, it is
too.
tough. You did not want to be marrying the czar in 1915.
And then bringing us to our favorite, the Royal Diaries of Anastasia.
Anastasia. I remember R.I.P. I was young enough to have read that book when we still thought there was a chance she might be out there somewhere
And now,
before
'cause
we got the definitive
they did
proof.
put the seeds of doubt in it too.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Well, because it wasn't until like 2010 or something that they finally found the other
all the
daughter.
remains.
Yeah, the other daughter
They
and
found two
and
other daughters in a well somewhere nearby.
No, they found one other daughter and the Tsarevich, like the son.
Oh yeah.
Those were the two that were missing. Was
Okay.
Alexei and either Olga or Anastasia.
He's seen one of them. I mean, they're all pretty, but one of them is like stunning.
Yeah.
Like Olga or Maria, maybe.
It might have been Maria.
Or Tati. I don't know.
Or maybe Olga is the really pretty one and Maria and Anastasia because they were the closer in age. That's why it was like the big ones and the little ones.
So it's Olga, Tatiana, Maria,
Maria, and
and
Anastasia.
it's Atma. So it's Olga, Tatiana, Maria. That's the order. So Olga's the oldest.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I'm just saying it for myself.
Oh, yeah,
I'm
no,
like,
you're fine. I'm saying like that's why the reason I remember that is because they in the book they call themselves like the big pair and the little pair,
yeah.
which is cute.
Ugh, we're gonna read it. We gotta.
I'm getting like choked up just thinking about it.
It's tough. It's a tough.
It's a tough story.
It's tough. And this is like the interesting part. We get to the peek into the past, and it talks about immigration into New York and how it was like the thing to do was to come through Ellis Island and come to the USA. And just like they kind of briefly mentions like the different waves of immigration, like. And so they talk about how a lot of Russian Jewish immigrants were coming in the late 1800s and the early 1900s because of like the pogroms and the like troubles and the kind of like what's the right word for it? Like
Rise of anti-Semitism.
yes,
and,
yeah.
yeah.
No, I was trying to think of like I didn't want to say genocide because that's not what was happening then. But like it's something, it was just like I guess like the easiest, like most like bland word is the discrimination against the Jews there, and like how they couldn't have certain jobs, they couldn't do certain things, and so
Yeah,
a lot of
some people I think saw the writing on the wall earlier than others, which
Yeah.
is, you know,
and so which is tough, and so basically it talks about how a lot of immigrants moved to different communities in different areas of the Lower East Side and across the country too, and how they would stay in their communities or they'd basically move in like, oh, there's like, I mean, it still happens today, like New York and different places, but it's like, oh, in like, in Orchard Street area or in Hester Street, it's a big, like, you'll find a bunch of Yiddish, like, people, like, you can go there, like, meet them, they'll help you out. And so people would move in together or live near each other and have, like, kind of the meshing of cultures for the first time, where it's like, here's some American traditions, here's some old world traditions, like, your neighbor's Italian. Maybe now you're doing Feast of Seven Fishes too. It's like
it's very cute.
it talks about how it's just kind of like the birth of the American melting pot, which is why I think that period of history is so interesting because obviously we had immigration all throughout history of America. That's how we all got here. But I do think like the 1870s, 1880s to like the early 19 teens period of like the massive influx of immigration is such an interesting time for America because it really does create this like country we have today where it's like you have people who are like, oh, we're Lebanese American or Irish American or like Italian American.
You heard it here first, folks.
No, you,
Yeah,
I
no, I feel
joke,
you.
but they're
I kid, I
just
kid.
they're the loudest.
Well,
um,
um, no, I hear what you're saying. I mean, I love these things. I think about them a lot in terms of food, probably just because I really love to cook, and I think it's one of like because everybody needs to cook,
yeah,
everybody needs to eat multiple times a day, and then also it is like a commerce thing.
yeah,
I think that there are ways in which people were more willing to share traditions and culture via food
yeah.
that they were maybe like more protective of in definitely say like things like
Oh
religion or
yeah, for sure.
language. And
Or
so
music is a good one
yeah, or
too.
music.
Yeah,
Yeah, music is great. I think because I don't have a lot of background in music, despite my love of musical theater, but I do love to cook. Like I think about it a lot. Like I've never lived in New York, but I grew up in New Orleans, and like for example, New Orleans obviously has colonial like French and Spanish influences, but then there was a large influx of Vietnamese people to New Orleans, and then you get Viet Cajun food, which is like a unique like cuisine that you can only get in that
yeah,
region of Louisiana, and it's so incredible to see the way like you can, if you want to, if you're like me and it like is your hyperfixation, it's like you can like pick these dishes apart and trace like this came from like this came from like Vietnamese people. This came from then they went and got like the Three Sisters, or
yeah,
they got like these spices. They brought it in. It replaced this spice because it was difficult to find.
yeah.
Like it's so cool. I just think it's so fascinating.
No, and I think I think that's a good point. I think there's a lot of interesting, and this is like my one point where I'll be like a little like ugh about like it's like I always get, like, annoyed in the sense, like, you travel too, when I'm in Europe and someone is like, "Oh, like, American pizza is nothing like Italian pizza." I'm like, "Yeah, because we had different ingredients and, like, this got formed through different things." It's not like we think it's the same pizza that as you'd have in, like, Sicily, but
Yeah.
it's like, this is the American version, and there's something cool about the fact that you have these old world versions that have been made new, you know? So, like, I think, I mean, one of my as much as America's annoying and as much as immigration's a huge problem, that shouldn't be a problem right now.
Be so clear.
That
Immigration is not a huge problem.
no, you know what I mean.
Yeah, I
Like that
know.
shouldn't be a
I
problem.
know.
Like I
I'm
think like I think it's what makes America so special. Like I mean, I was even like right before you came over, I was watching a TikTok video where someone had like a very interesting point where it was like talking about pick me Americans who are like, oh well, like Americans dress so embarrassing because we wear such bright colors, we wear so much this. And it's like someone was like, "You know, one cool thing about America is like you could see someone wearing you could see someone who's like wearing traditional Peruvian clothing or traditional like Kenyan clothing and stuff like that, and you would just assume, oh, that's someone who came over from there. That's not weird. Like
yeah.
you see people who are like it's just such a mix of culture and it's so ingrained in our like entire
In our
life
identity, our
that
cultural
like you don't
identity.
even think about it being weird, you know? And I
Absolutely.
think like that's something that we take for granted. I think that other countries don't necessarily understand is that like the multiculturalism of America, like the melting pot means that it has all become more similar, but it still has individual elements of it. And so I think that's a really cool thing that like I appreciate about this country.
100%. I have had this fight with like European friends,
Yeah, me too.
especially Brits, let's be real.
Yeah.
But like because they'll be like, "Well, we have all sorts of immigration. Like we have, in London, like we have like neighborhoods." And I'm like, "I know you do, but like again, it's first of all, it's not part of like your fundamental cultural identity." And also, yeah, I'm sorry, like at least in my experience, like when I lived in like France, their cultures are more homogenous. Like just because it's not part of their cultural identity, assimilation is considered like the de rigueur
Yeah.
standard. And so like you don't see that sort of like celebration or like that like active excitement to
Yeah.
blend or
Yeah.
to meld. And again, I think you can see it a lot in like the cuisines of America. That's why like while there are regional cuisines that I think are just absolutely incredible, like obviously I love Lebanese food.
Yeah.
We've talked about like our mutual love of like most of the sort of like Eastern European or like Baltic foods. Like I love Russian food.
Yeah.
Uh I think that American food is just the best food in the world because it is all of those foods,
Yeah.
and it is people working with each other and like exchanging ideas and exchanging techniques. And I think that America is the place that all other world cuisines come to be elevated.
Yeah.
I made a joke earlier about all the patriotism leaving my body when we talk about the draft. It all comes into my body in a real rock flag and eagle way if I have to talk to a Brit about almost anything.
Yeah, I feel that. I remember when I lived in the UK, I was talking to this one American, and he was like, "I've never been so like sure of my opinion on the problems in America, but so like aggressively patriotic as when someone who's never lived here is telling me like the what's what of like American culture. And so that's all to say that I think they did a cool job talking the peak in the past, like giving us a little hint of that. We talk a little bit about vaudeville too, and what the
That's right.
theater was like, and like how theater was changing, and how actors still weren't seen as like that much of a like desired profession because they were out of work so much.
Yeah.
But
Uh, have you read Station 11?
no,
We should read it together because I watched some of the show. I don't know if you've ever done this. I watched like the first few episodes of the show, and then I was like, yeah, I love this so much. I really want to read the book. I
Okay.
don't want to spoil the book
Yeah.
for myself. So I stopped. Station 11 is great because I heard somebody describe it as Station 11 dares to answer the question, what would theater kids do in The Walking Dead? And so the answer is like, they just like this. It's like, you go back to this time. They have a troupe where they just like go from like sort of like settlement to settlement. And they're like, hey, on Wednesday night, we're going to put on what we think Hamlet was about. If you guys want to come, you can maybe bring us some food.
yeah,
And I was like, oh,
That's-
this would so unfortunately deeply be me in the apocalypse.
it's
We all love
very
to
back
think that
to vaudeville's roots.
yeah, we all love to think that we would be Katniss Everdeen in the dystopia.
I know I wouldn't
but
be.
you and I would, I
Yeah.
think, be the Station 11 people.
Or the Covey.
Or well, they were kind of the Station 11
Yeah,
people of
exactly.
the Hunger Games.
There
But
you
yeah,
go.
you got me there, bud.
And then we got
Bestie.
the thing that was like the last thing it talks about in the peak in the past is about how the newsreels were like people saw movies also because that's where you saw the news. So it'd be like war in Europe, like millions dead. And then you'd see like Charlie Chaplin doing something silly.
Frankly, I cannot believe that our current administration, with some of the stuff that they've done,
Hasn't
that
done
they
that.
haven't like brought those back. I guess
Not
honestly,
yet.
I would say it's probably just because movies aren't like doing
Yeah.
that well. Like, but I know we
That
talked
type
about
of propaganda.
well, they do though, because like you and I talked about like I don't know. Well, I'm going to the airport on Friday, but it's been a minute since I was at the Austin airport. The last time I went to the Austin airport, they literally had a video like that was running on a loop as you were waiting through the TSA line. That was Christy Nome being like, "We are doing the best job that's ever been done in the world about like the aviation administration. Travel has never been better, and you're welcome." And I was like,
I
what
hate
the
it.
fuck is this? Why is this playing? And then it was like,
And
well,
watch the
joke's on you.
patriotism leave my body
Yeah,
again.
and then I felt the patriotism leave my body again. But I was like, the fucked up part, like this, it was like as a captive audience. Like they played it on every screen around the TSA line, so you just had to listen to it over and over and over again.
I think I've been there when that happened.
It sucked.
But yeah, that's the end of Rebecca. So
That was her story.
That was her story. So we like our new girl.
I really like Rebecca. I would definitely put her above Julie. Sorry, Julie.
It's okay.
I
I think the more historical ones are more fun.
think they're more fun. Also, just like personality wise, like Julie was dealing, I think, with some serious issues because I remember us really getting into like how unfair I felt like the mom was being,
Yeah. It
And-
never got better, by the way.
and it never got better, as I heard, which is a bummer. But like, I think that Rebecca, because also like, yeah, like I think Rebecca, I'm assuming that like some of the hardships she's gonna go through are around the immigrant experience, probably about like I hope they do get those family members in. Maybe she needs to help like Anna like sort of learn about America,
Speak English.
speak English.
Yeah.
But I'm saying it's like those are all interesting. They are also not particularly high stakes when you compare them to say like we were talking about like Addie like growing up as a slave. So we are still kind of getting into the place where it's like, yeah, the stakes are a little lower. Or even like say like Kit, like actively like her, parents had to open their house up.
Yeah.
You know?
Because they're going to be evicted.
Because they're gonna be evicted. So like those are really serious problems for a young person. I think that Rebecca's problems are maybe like a step removed from like her safety and well-being. But I still really like her personality. I like her take on life. I like her tenacity. I even like her girl boss grind set.
I do. I think she's fun. I like sometimes I feel like it takes a little while to warm up to a girl because they just like the author's trying to find the personality, but I think they found Rebecca's personality well.
Yeah.
I think it like she's thinking out
And she
and-
said it out. And we loved that.
She's thinking out for everyone and we're thinking out for you guys. And if you like this episode, then share this with your bubby.
Or share this maybe like with a news in your life.
Share this with the twins you know who are very creepy.
Share this with your best grind set bestie.
Share this with your cousin who's gonna be a famous actor one day.
Share this with your cousin who desperately needs to move to the city where you live so you can hang out.
And guys, if you like this episode, then like, subscribe, comment all the things that we asked you to in the episode.
Mm-hmm. Smash that subscribe button.
Smash that subscribe button and comment 16 emojis that you think Rebecca would use.
Yeah, or comment what you would put in your trousseau if
Yes.
getting married meant that you never saw your family again, maybe.
Maybe. And tune in next week. We'll do Rebecca and Anna, which feels like a spoiler that Anna does make it over.
Thank God, though. I was like, it was an upsetting
Look, if it was a
storyline,
Dear
like,
America book, she might not.
no, she might not.
And she'd be the star of it. And we'd learn about her journey. It's gonna be tough, but it's gonna be fun. And we'll see you guys next week, or I'll see you guys. Chelsea, thank you.
You'll never see me again until there's another girl.
Until we're in matching dresses.
I'm so excited.
It's gonna be good. And guys, thank you so much for listening. And goodbye.
Goodbye.